Hello classmates, welcome to our integrated group lesson plan video. I'm Melissa.
And I'm Becca.
Our lesson plan is created for a 3rd grade social studies lesson with physical education aspects. The title of the lesson is It Takes a Village. It will take approximately 30 minutes.
There are a few standards we will cover throughout this lesson. Our PE standard is PE 3.1, which has to do with students being able to complete basic motor skills and movement patterns during a physical activity. The academic standard we are using is SS 3H1, which is all about the Native Americans and how they use the land around them.
There are a few measurable objectives that we'll be keeping track of during this activity. The students must be able to show that they can successfully chase a turkey and catch them, show correct weight transfer when throwing objects, they can correctly jump up and grab the fruits that they will be collecting, they can toss the ball underhand correctly, they can successfully leap over the river, they know the 6 regions of North America and understanding how the Native Americans utilize the lands on which they lived, depending on which region they lived in. So for the introductory activity, we're going to get the students warmed up, and we'll have the students divided into 5 groups that are going to be their tribe, and we're going to determine who's going to be in what tribe according to their physical ability and their academic ability, and we're going to kind of try to make it even. They'll all sit in a line, one behind the other, for a relay race. So for the race, they'll take turns performing specific movements from the line that they're starting at to a line about 50 feet away.
Some of the activities they will be doing will be high knees, skipping, lunges, the karaoke, and booty kicks.
Once all the students are done with the relay, each team will receive an envelope that contains a hint to their location of their team base or their village. Materials for this warm-up activity include the envelopes and the villages. So the villages will be hula hoops that are located in an unknown location. So for the academic focus, we're going to have 6 different stations, each one representing each of the 6 regions. Students will perform a different task at each station, which they'll rotate through with their tribe. Each task that is required of them will represent a different survival technique used by the Native Americans in that region. Once completing the task, the students will earn their provisions and return them to their village before moving on.
In order for this activity to work, we will also have parent and volunteers throughout the classroom and outside in the different regions to just make sure that everything runs smoothly. And
so for the practice sessions, the parents and the classroom volunteers will lead the group in practicing each activity. Each student will participate in the practice session to ensure that each and every student completes all the activities throughout the entire lesson and making sure that they're completing them in a safe manner. After the practice session, the tribe will designate one villager in their tribe to complete the task to retrieve the provision, and each villager may only complete one task throughout the entire lesson. This ensures that each student participates in the activity.
At each station, there will be a parent or classroom volunteer that will demonstrate the activity for the students and ensure they know how to complete them safely. At the Arctic station, the volunteer will show students how to complete an underhand toss. At the Northwest station, the volunteer will demonstrate how to do a jump and grab. At the Southwest station, the helper will show students how to pass the squash while rotating their bodies. In the Plains area, the volunteer will show students how to complete an overhand throw with correct form and weight transfer. In the Northeast, the volunteer will show how students should be leaping. And finally, in the Southeast station, the volunteers will demonstrate how to run and chase safely.
The first region is the Arctic. The materials needed for this activity include a small ball that can easily be tossed, an ice fishing hole, which could be a basket or a cornhole board, and a fake fish. So the students will need to toss a ball underhand into the ice fishing hole to earn the fish for their tribe.
The next region is the Northwest, where students will need to locate fruit, which will be hanging from trees with Velcro. The tribe will then have one member jump up and grab a fruit from the tree, which will be their provision to take back to their village. For this activity, we will need trees to attach the fruit to, Velcro to attach the fruit to the trees, and fruits to attach. There needs to be enough fruits for each village to get one.
In the Southwest region, the students will need to locate the squash patch. The materials needed for this region include a medicine ball to represent the squash, which will be 3 to 5 pounds depending on how strong the kids are. We will have enough medicine balls for each tribe to gain their squash after completing the task. So for this activity, they'll stand in a line, legs spread apart, and their feet connecting. The person located next to the squash will pick it up, twist their body, and pass the squash to the next villager until it reaches the end of the line. At that point, they will take their squash back. So now we're going to show you the correct technique for the students to go about passing the squash to each other.
In the Plains region, the students will have a Velcro ball and will use an overhand throw to capture their prey, an animal covered in Velcro. Upon completion of the task, the tribe will earn a stuffed animal to take to their village. For this activity, we will need animals that are covered in Velcro, a few Velcro balls, and enough stuffed animals for each tribe to take one.
The materials needed for the Northeast region include a fake river, which can be a blue sheet or a tablecloth, and 1 ear of corn for each tribe. The students will leap across the river to reach the farmlands where they will collect their corn to return to the village. The river must be wide enough to pose a challenge for the students to jump across.
In the Southeast region, the volunteer, parent, or classroom guest will wear flag football belts, and the student chosen to complete the task will chase the turkey, which will be the parent or classroom volunteer, until he or she snatches its flag. At that point, they will receive a stuffed turkey to return to their tribe. For this activity, we'll need flag football belts, stuffed turkeys, and obviously the parents. There will be a few things that we do in order to ensure safety and avoid chaos. The students will complete the warm-up activity together and will then find the village with the given hint. These villages will be spread apart to give students plenty of room. When the students get to their village, there will be a print-off that will tell them which region to travel to. When they return the provision they gained to their village, the sheet will then state where they need to go next, and so on until the game. By doing this, we're able to ensure that the groups are never at the same station at the same time, so they're not running over each other, and it's going to be very boring.
So for the closing game, each tribe will return to their village and do their before bedtime stretches. Each member of each tribe will lead their tribe in a stretch. There will be 5 stretches for them to choose from. These stretches include sit and reach, butterfly stretches, trunk twists, bend down and touch your toes, and arms cross your body. For this closing activity, the students will sit in a circle with their other tribe members. The one leading the stretch will move to the middle of the circle, and the others will follow their instructions.
There are a few different activities going on throughout the lesson that will build students' cardiorespiratory, muscular strength and endurance, and muscular flexibility. Throughout the entire lesson, students are running back and forth to their villages, which will build cardiorespiratory endurance. Students will be building muscular strength and endurance in the southwest and northwest regions, where the students will be jumping, grabbing, and passing the squash. In the southwest and closing activities, the students will be improving flexibility. This is where they'll be completing their stretches and their trunk twists. In order to assess each student, the volunteers at each station will be observing the students. They will then record whether or not the students are capable of performing the given activities during the practice sessions. They will have a list of names for each tribe, and will just check yes or no for each activity.
And that's all we have for you today. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
The correct technique.
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 Proceed to this. Spin around.
The
Stop.
correct technique to
Double take
pass
3
the squash.
times. 1, 2, 3. Now it's time to pelvic thrust.
Woo! Woo!
Step on your right foot. Don't forget it. Now it's time to bring it around town. Bring it around town. Okay. So posture, technique. Triggered.
Sorry. You know, the usual.
I got it off camera. They didn't know. Goodness gracious.
They did know from the last blooper.
Oh, yeah.
Bent over in the same way. Probably made the same face.
That's my frightening face.